Alright, Arena of Valor. I've since played a lot of this game, I believe. Let me see. Well, I say a lot. 15 hours. I've played 15 hours of this game, but, you know, I have a lot of past experience with League of Legends. Probably thousands of hours into League of Legends. So I've dug deeper into Arena of Valor to figure out the inner workings of it, and I've since learned a lot of things about it, so now I can actually give a more in-depth look on it instead of just a first impression. One of the things I missed where I didn't know how to open up the item shop inside the game. It is automatically going to buy items for you, and the items that it's already predefined to buy for each champion while you're playing is usually a pretty good item set, so you usually don't have to tinker around with it too much. But if you want to, all you have to do is go into heroes and then hit on your hero and press Y, and you can choose between 3 presets. And whenever you load into a match, you can actually choose Armory 1, 2, and 3. Currently there's a bug where it takes like 2 matches for me for it to load the preset. So if I do the number 1 armory, for some reason sometimes it will do my last preset. And also another thing, to unlock things, you always want to check these tabs over here. There will be a red marker like over here on activity, and it's constantly throwing free stuff at you. Free XP, free skin, for daily stuff, and sometimes it's just for rewards for doing certain things. You just want to come over here and just collect all those things until you see no more red dots, and you can use those rewards you get from it to unlock new champions. And some champions are very cheap, and some champions are pretty expensive. Take you about like 10 matches to unlock some, and only about 3 matches to unlock some other different champions. As far as I know, that you can, there's not a bundle like they do with Paladins where you pay $30 and you get every champion or hero, but you can unlock them using the in-game currency. I would not recommend using real money to unlock anything. It's just kind of expensive, although, you know, it's a free game, so they have to have some kind of way to have a pay method. So I don't exactly agree with their pay method. I think they need to develop it a little bit more. I like where games only limit you to be able to buy with real money, only buy cosmetic things and something that doesn't affect the gameplay, and you being able to buy champions with real money, kind of, it's not really unfair, but at the same time it rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, and also another thing, just like in League of Legends, you can equip the runes, and you'll unlock those from daily things or just playing the game more and more, or buying them with those gems, and then you can slot them in. I imagine that you unlock more slots as you play the game more. Typical rune slot, talent tree type of thing that applies to champions. Let's go ahead and jump into a standard match. Queue times are pretty fast on this game, I must say. So this must be a really popular game. I'm just now getting into it. I'm unfamiliar with the game, but
relax and let me put on.
I'm enjoying my time with it. Although there is a couple of gripes I will get into. I made a build for max damage and a build for max defense, but once you pick a armory spec, you have to stick with it, and it will auto buy the items within that category. Hopefully that bug will not happen, and it will actually do my max damage equipment. Although you can see those little check boxes on the bottom while you're selecting champion, you can actually turn off auto buy and auto level up if you choose to want to buy items while in game, but I like to do auto buy. That way you don't have to think about opening up your shop and wasting time. So I like that aspect where you can just make a preset build and it'll auto buy the things. But as you'll see in a second, it will give you choices as you gain gold, even though you have auto buy within your build. So pieces of items that build up to the item that's into your preset, you can pick those certain items. I'll show in a second. So just like League of Legends, it's a 3-lane game where you want to try to get through the 3 towers in one of the lanes and get to the Nexus at their base and destroy it. Typically you want to have a melee person on bot with a support person with them, and mid supposed to be a mage, top supposed to be a tanky person, and you need to have a jungler that's going to be just traveling around inside the jungle getting buffs and ganking for you for your lane. And this is what I was talking about with the buying things. You can buy pieces of stuff even though it's preset to buy certain items, and for your build you can buy the things that build to your items depending on what you need at the moment, and you don't have to go back to base to buy the items. So right now, do I need defense or do I need HP? It gives you the choice. And also it's automatically going to level up your skills as well because that's automatically checked, but you can also hold X and actually choose which ones you want to level up as you're playing if you want to. Otherwise, it'll do it for you after a certain amount of time, about a couple of seconds. It'll choose for you.
Has destroyed a tower.
And these little health things will spawn behind your tower. Seems like every 2 minutes or so it'll spawn behind your tower. It'll regain your health and mana by a small portion. Hold Y to choose the next item to build towards your build.
Will bring us victory.
Yeah, with the popularity of this game seems to be so big, there's also going to be a lot of newbies playing this game, obviously, which is good for you if you're also a newbie, because you're going to be paired up against a lot of newbies as well. But for people that are very experienced in MOBA games, it's going to be a cakewalk most of the time until you play the game a lot and get paired against good players. And as you can see, for this particular champion, it has abilities that you have to actually aim. You just hold down the button of the ability and then move your right joystick around to place it, and you let go of the button to cast the spell. It actually works pretty well most of the time, but obviously it's not going to be as fast as auto cast on a keyboard where you hold down shift and press the ability and then it auto cast wherever your mouse cursor is. It's obviously not going to be that fast, but it is relatively fast, at least fast enough to be reliable. And if you decide to want to cancel your cast while you're hovering the ability, you just press the B button and it'll go away.
Watch the jungle.
And this is what I was talking about with the bug, that it is now choosing items from my Armory 1 preset build. I don't know why this happens, but sometimes it just happens. It will choose the other armory set that you've used before instead of the one you chose on the character select screen. So that's something they need to fix. And for that reason, that you're able to buy items even while in lane. The only reason why you ever want to go B by holding down on the D-pad is just to get your health back.
Must we fight constantly?
I guess they want to simplify the MOBA genre. And you can also communicate with your team by clicking in the right joystick down and moving the right joystick up and down to select presets, sentences. Or you can press down the joystick again and choose to all or to team, and you can actually type a response, which, you know, you're wasting time, but it gives you that option until Switch finally implements a keyboard to the Switch, which would be really nice.
Your tower has been destroyed.
Although you could argue it'd be terrible because MOBAs are generally known as games filled with raging people on keyboards. So yeah, and MOBAs are generally, the best way to look at them is a chess game of constantly knowing when to engage and when to run away. Like right now is the time you want to engage, but you always want to keep a certain distance away from the other person. That way you're able to still damage them, but they can't damage you, so it's constantly back and forth of that distance closing. Generally during the first stages of the game, the beginning stages of the game, you want to just stay behind your minions is the safest bet, because the minions will attack the other person for you if they decide to engage on you. Although during later stages of the game, the minions won't really matter as much.
An enemy has been defeated.
And as you can see over here in the jungle, there is, if you're a jungle character, like I said, you want to attack damage person on bot. In mid, you want a mage. Top is a tanky person, and then you want a support with the attack damage person on the bottom, and you want a jungle. And the jungler will just stay around the jungle killing these mobs. This is a regular mob. This spider is a regular mob. Although this is a blue buff, and that will give you really high mana regeneration, good for your mages. On this side will be more mobs, and be a regular mob over here. And right here would be the red buff, which would be good for your attack damage person. Because generally you only need 2 people on your team that are going to carry. You're going to have the mage, which would be me. That goes mid to be fed, so they need that blue buff, and the attack damage person, which is on bot, needs this red buff because that will buff their attack damage. And over here would be the equivalent of Dragon from League of Legends, which will give you your whole team a lot of gold. And on the opposite side would be the equivalent of Baron, which will give your whole team a buff, a HP and mana regen, and a lot of gold. It's just an overall really good buff for your entire team as long as you're still alive when it gets killed, and your whole team will receive that buff. And you can also press right on the D-pad to bring up the map, the mini-map, and select a place, and just press A to ding something to bring to someone's attention. And press the start button to look at the score. And this little gold ring that you see around whenever you're near a tower is what you want to stay out of when attacking a champion, because the moment you attack a champion within that ring, the towers start attacking you, and it don't matter how much armor you have from your items, that the tower is going to do more and more damage by a percentage to you the longer you stay in that ring and get shot by that tower. And there you go. And like I said, it is a very good game. I enjoy it. It's fun. If you're looking for a good MOBA game, this is a very good MOBA game. The only 2 big gripes I have is that bug where it won't load your armory preset that you have set on the character select screen. It'll sometimes glitch up and choose a different one. And also your skill shot abilities that you have to hold down the button to choose sometimes don't go off as fast as you want them to. But other than those two gripes, it is actually a really fun MOBA game. And if you play League of Legends, this is very, very similar to League of Legends, more so than any other MOBA game that I've played. But yeah, pick it up, try it out, free game.